you're making a wall right here. Look.
Hundreds of years.
You just built the wall.
Canada.
Is this a wall? That looks like a bunch of people holding hands together. You really don't understand what
It's a wall of snowflakes.
Eagle eyes,
It's a wall of snowflakes. Look how weak they are standing up to you.
We talk about it. I grew up.
Squatting Slav TV.
Hello my friends, so we're here at the US-Canada border today where some pro-refugee and pro-open border groups have shown up to show their support for refugees and obviously loose borders. And as you can see behind me here, we have some members of the Soldiers of Odin and other patriot and nationalist groups. And on the other side we of course have an entire avalanche of snowflakes that has gathered. So I'm going to go around today, hopefully get some interviews with them, see what they're all about. And hopefully I'll get something more than autistic screeching.
Now we have the signal that it's time to circle up.
Okay, so this is
the band can come in the middle of the circle.
There we go.
The band can come in the middle of the circle. We can come around.
So the snowflakes are forming a safety circle right now because they feel really threatened by the presence of us Nazis. Check it out. Just an entire avalanche of snowflakes. Fake news behind me.
Where do you get your media information from? That's a
well, I actually just spent a week at a migrant camp back in Europe, so I actually have some pretty good statistics. Knowing exactly what kind.
When I asked you about media, you said migrant camp. So that's a third time that you've avoided any kind of.
Well, you probably you know your sources come from BuzzFeed, mind blown, right?
And now, so that's an ad hominem. Now you're talking about where my sources come from. So that's 4 avoidance of anything useful that you decided.
So where do your sources come from?
So tell me, why are you against immigration?
Well, I'm not against immigration at all. Actually, I'm against illegal immigration.
Okay. How much of that is happening in Canada?
Not just me.
Well, at one point this summer, we were getting about 1,000 people crossing into Quebec illegally through the border there. So,
okay, and how does that negatively impact Canada?
You're an Indian.
It negatively impacts Canada in many ways. It sets the precedent that being in Canada is a right and not a privilege. Hundreds of thousands of people that came to this country, hundreds and thousands of people came to this country, they applied for immigration, they went through years and years and waited. Yes, exactly, they went through, you know, they waited years and years to get into this country while some people are just crossing the border. So you're okay with that?
But that doesn't negatively impact Canada. I said, how does it negatively impact? How does it hurt me that somebody comes into Canada? How does it hurt other people that somebody comes into Canada?
It may not hurt you now, but in the future it will. And the money to support those people is coming out of your pockets. Your taxpayer money.
Immigrants are
these are not
even the illegal immigrants are.
How are they positive? This is money coming out of your taxpayer dollars. Okay, explain to me.
We pay a little and then they become people who generate money.
And you don't think that a lot of these people are going to be leeching off the system for a while? These people are coming from third world countries with no education. These people cannot.
Shows that that's true. And I think that that's what you've been avoiding, is the data and the evidence that immigration, even illegal immigration, is actually a net positive for Canada. So you're fighting against the positive. Because
we learn to walk the earth in a good way and a kind way.
That's it. That's all you've got.
Well, why do we have laws in this country? We have a border for a reason.
We have laws because they do prevent things that harm people.
Exactly. So if we let random people across the border, can that not prove to be potentially harmful to the economy, to us, to our safety, to everything, to our society?
Do you have any evidence whatsoever?
Well, have you been to Europe? Have you seen what's going on in Europe?
So again, Europe. Have you any evidence that it is dangerous to Canada?
It will become dangerous in Canada.
It will. So you're a predictor. You're predicting.
Yes, because history repeats itself.
It's not dangerous now. But you think, in your heart of hearts, it will be bad in the future. You have faith, not evidence. You have faith that these other people that are different from you are bad.
And 5 hours later that day, Canada gets culturally enriched by an ISIS terrorist attack.
Circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children, keep the circle whole. And again, circle around for freedom. Help me out here.
Circle around for circle jerk.
Well, we're not an organizer, but we
basically what's going to happen, of course, is that these mainstream media news outlets are going to spin these stories, you know, chop them up, edit them to fit their mainstream narrative, and essentially present it in a way that's completely biased. They've been filming here the entire time. You know, they've been filming the soldiers of Odin and some of these nationalist groups the entire time, and they've put no focus on these snowflakes over there who are just autistically screeching already for the last, you know, hour or so. So I really don't even want to speak to these reporters because I know that they'll edit this footage and completely, you know, cut out any valuable information that they don't agree with.
Well, I just don't.
Is there a reason that you guys put more media attention on this group right here than the other group? Yeah, you're fake news. Jeez, this guy's standing like he's about to take a crap. And how do you feel about, you know, this recent sort of surge in migrants that have been crossing the border in eastern Canada? You know, obviously we haven't been seeing as many people, but do you think that this poses a threat to us, you know, economically and socially as well?
Of course it does. Hundreds of millions of dollars are being spent to house. Again, it was stated earlier at the rally here that they get gold-plated medical,
yes,
dental, housing, you know, food, of course, and clothing, and you know, with thousands crossing the border. This equates to hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
She showed me the suicide note that she had written.
Stories in order to
but
make
she said, you know what changed my mind?
for your stance.
When she smiled at me?
Well, it's not a fantasy story. It's not a fantasy story because if we look at historic examples, if we look at some of the countries in Europe, you know, it started the same way. It started with 10, 20, 100, 1,000 people. And then eventually it became hundreds of thousands.
Yes, and
right?
look at how terrible Europe is with its
multicultural
people.
Well, there's a terrorist attack on a weekly basis happening in places like London. You can't say it's a great thing.
In America.
When was the last one in America?
Happiness together.
Well, let's see how many white supremacists have attacked in the last month.
We don't separate one another.
No. But when was the last terrorist attack?
Oh, white supremacists are terrorists?
No, but we're talking about immigration. We're talking about immigrants now. Immigrants causing terrorism.
We're talking about human beings. And we're also noting that the people who live in that country.
We were specifically talking about.
We're also remembering that the people who live in that country can be worse than the people who illegally immigrate.
But when they're not hungry,
which means
the
that what
animals
they
all get
do
along.
when they do it to inflict
Why
terror
not?
is
Can we
also
not get along together on
White
this earth?
supremacists are terrorists.
Are you white?
Yeah, I guess I am.
see it every
White's
day.
not really a race, you know that.
Are you? Do you have a lot of white guilt in you?
Being berated and getting support.
No.
So now again, ad hominem, you want to talk about me. You want to ignore what I'm saying and talk about the person that I am?
Well, no, we were talking about. We were talking about immigration in Europe, right?
I'll share one more story.
And immigration in the States. And I told you how it started and that it went, you know, hundreds of thousands, tens, hundreds of thousands. And we can't say that there isn't a problem in some of these places. Like in some places in Europe, the Islamic and Muslim enclaves in Europe are so big that women can't even walk around in skirts at night. Come on, we can't ignore these facts.
My hands at him.
Right, they can't walk around in skirts at night.
Yeah, exactly.
So I turn around and
if I talk to a friend of mine in Europe, in Paris, and say, hey, can you walk around
40 feet away from where they were,
they will say no.
Turn around.
Is that what you're saying?
I just said in some parts of Sweden. I didn't say Paris.
Some parts of Sweden. So if I talk to a friend of mine in Sweden and say, can you walk around in a skirt?
Absolutely. Talk to some of the people in Malmo, talk to some of the people in Gothenburg. They will tell you this. There are actual enclaves that exist that are so predominantly Muslim.
Are these people who agree with you about illegal immigration?
Sorry?
Are these people who agree with you about illegal immigration who are afraid to walk around in skirts?
Well, these are just regular people that this is happening to. They may be apolitical. You don't have to be you know, right-leaning or left-leaning to get raped. That can be anyone.
We got up to where they were, and the one that berated me the most.
Well, I'm actually from Europe, so I actually have a lot of people there. I actually just went to a migrant camp for a week there, and I saw the reality of it.
So you've heard from a few people that they're afraid afraid to wear skirts.
I said, sorry for what?
No, this isn't a few people. This has been on the news.
What are the numbers?
But why did you thank me? Why did you?
Do you have any of that?
Go look up the rape statistics in Sweden. They've gone up 30%.
We're out behind it.
For attacks.
Well, we don't have that problem yet. That's what I'm telling you. That's what I've been telling you. But this is how it starts. Do you understand?
No, who you are.
You think women aren't attacked in Vancouver?
We don't.
I didn't say that.
Or it only matters when it's an immigrant.
To survive.
No, not at all.
You only care if it's somebody who wasn't born
I
here.
definitely know that women get raped here and attacked and sexually assaulted. Absolutely. This is a universal phenomenon. It's not exclusive to one group of people. Can we agree on that?
Yes. So why are you focusing on one group of people when worrying about this problem?
And we create.
I'm not saying I'm focusing on this group of people because these people are the ones that are committing the majority of it in some places.
They are not, you don't have the numbers to back that up. That's bullshit.
I absolutely do. How do you know I'm a liar? Why don't you go on the news? Stop watching BBC and all these mainstream medias and go and look at some of the alternative news. Cops and paramedics in Sweden are scared to go alone to some of these enclaves.
You think
do you realize that?
Paramedics in Vancouver aren't scared to go to certain places in Vancouver?
They
are.
That you say about immigrants is true about non-immigrants.
I agree. But do cops get rocks thrown at their cars here? Do they get their cars set on fire? Absolutely not.
Did you not see the Vancouver riots?
Oh, what? The one riot back in 2011 after the hockey incident? Big deal. This happens in Sweden on a weekly basis. This happens on a weekly basis. Sure, you can ignore the facts. Absolutely. I'm not making shit up. You can look it up. This is common fact.
Women aren't attacked on a weekly basis.
Are cars burned and stoned on a weekly basis here?
To walk as
No.
one
Stolen? Yeah, absolutely.
Were 30 women raped on New Year's here, as they were in Germany?
And to share
I don't know.
smiles and
Do you know?
happiness.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't know.
Yes, I do. They were 30 women were raped in Germany, in Cologne on New Year's.
How many people in Vancouver were raped on New Year's?
I don't know this, but it wasn't 30 women. That's for sure. It wasn't 30 women at once. That's for sure. It wasn't a massive rape game that was happening. Come on.
Come on, that's what you've got to back up your stance.
Well, I'm telling you what happened. You obviously just don't know the facts because you're misinformed. You're misinformed.
Thank you very much.
No, you're ignorant.
You're misinformed.
Anyway,
You're completely misinformed.
I think if 30 women were raped in Vancouver on New Year's, that would probably be a good New Year's for women in Vancouver.
We're going to put forward.
I sort of look back at the history of when this type of thing has happened before, because this isn't the first time. The alt-right, they used to have different names, has come out and threatened immigrants and pretended that they weren't racist, but really been incredibly racist and built a movement.
Hey, hey! Hey, hey! Antifa's gotta go! Hey, hey! Hey, hey! Antifa's gotta go! Hey, hey! Hey, hey!
And as usual, the police is protecting Antifa, the very same people who openly advocate for the killing of the police. How pathetic. Guys, how many migrants are you going to house in your basements? Is there enough room in Mom's basement?
Do your best, Antifa! I want your keyboard!
Hey, how many migrants are you going to house? None? Oh. How many migrants are you going to house? No one, none. Look at this troll. Hello my friends, if you enjoyed this video and would like to support my channel, then head on over to tpublic.com and grab yourself some custom t-shirts designed by yours truly. We have various designs, colors, and many different forms of merchandise as well. To make it easier, just click on the link in the description of the video below and come squat with the Slav.